Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to Dirt Sheet Radio's post NXT Rewind. I am Tyler, the pro wrestling hipster, and we're here to give you guys the review and the rundown of tonight's show. Let's just go around the circle here real quick, introduce ourselves, and then jump right into discussion on the main event tonight.
Yeah, man, what's going on, y'all? I'm Darian, aka Young Suplex, or you guys can call me Soup. Been a wrestling fan for about I say going on, I guess 13 years now. Been watching since 2006, and I'm grateful and honored to be a part of the whole Dirt Sheet Radio family. So thank you guys for having me.
I'm CJ Carter, been a fan for about 20 years now, broadcaster for the last 10. So hopefully I lend a little bit of flash and pizzazz to the festivities tonight.
All right. So let's just jump right into the main event tonight. Our main event this evening was Lyra Valkyria taking on Xia Li for the NXT Women's Championship. Just real quick, what'd you guys think of the match? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Before anything, I'll let CJ hold it because I need my laptop charger. I'll be right back.
All right,
sounds good. So I guess I'll start us off. The match itself I thought was great. Two very talented women showcasing why they deserve to be in the main event. The thing that irked me though was last night on Raw, Xia Li losing a very crucial match against Becky Lynch. And don't get me wrong, that was a great match as well, but Xia needed that momentum heading into NXT tonight, and that would have done more for that momentum than the fake out attack during the entrance. And even that, if they wanted to do that heading into the actual main event, slap a commercial break on there, because Lyra didn't wrestle like she had suffered an attack earlier in the night. She was at the top of her game as far as I could tell. So it seemed like a lot of work just to get us to the same point where really they could have prevented that last night by having Xia go over Becky.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree, CJ, man. And you know what? Going back to earlier in the night, when Xia attacked Lyra from behind, Lyra was selling it like she got concussed with a brick.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? To try to give Xia that much edge, you should have done it last night against Becky. I mean, Becky Lynch is I would say an A-lister right now as far as in the women's division. I mean, she had the whole surprise reveal for the whole War Games team. So they have a lot of stock behind Becky Lynch still since the man. So why not just put Xia Li over on Becky Lynch yesterday? So that way, coming into the match today with Lyra beating Xia, that would have even made Lyra look even more credible. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Absolutely.
Especially when you consider Becky was the person that Lyra beat for the title. If Xia didn't have a chance of beating Becky, how do we figure she was going to have a chance of beating Lyra?
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. It really hurt the suspension of disbelief on that. It really felt like the attack angle this evening was pretty much just used to get the match placed into the main event slot as opposed to where it was being placed in the show initially.
I agree.
Well, and that's I had to kind of laugh at that, because if they were following that plan to the letter, if that match had happened second on the card, our main event tonight would have been Charlie Dempsey versus Eddie Thorpe. Nothing against those guys, but that in itself is not a main event match.
Right. Yeah. I absolutely agree. Any spots in the match or any high points or low points any of you guys want to discuss or bring up?
The ferocity that Lila brought to the ring as she was coming down the ramp, just handing the ref the title, being like, ring that bell right now, let's go. That is the kind of intensity that I wanted to see out of Xia as well. She definitely brought it. Closer to the end of the match, Xia hit a kick that I thought was I legitimately thought that might have rung Lyra's bell, but no, it was still a great match, fantastic main event, but the build to it just irks me.
Yeah, the build was a little weird. I will say that the crowd is behind Lyra. I feel like she's over in the NXT crowd. They were doing the woo thing. I didn't, this is, and I also like to preface this. I haven't been a loyal NXT 2.0, 2.5, if you want to call it, watcher. You know what I mean? Since kind of like Carmelo Hayes has had that hot run, but this crowd is very loyal to NXT, this version of it. So it's good to see that they are behind Lyra. So that's something I noticed from the match, especially is that Lyra's over with the NXT crowd. On Raw, when she makes appearances in the crowd, people are like, who's that? But, NXT is where, that's where you do it at. You hone your skills, you get over, and, you use your charisma to your advantage. And I think Lyra did that.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, and on her getting a more lackluster reception on Raw, I'm not really sure, but I don't know what percentage of your typical Raw viewer is also an NXT viewer.
There you go. Yeah.
And I wonder if that's why they had Zaya lose to Becky last night, because the average Raw viewer, if they didn't see NXT or they didn't hear Michael Cole hyping up their title match on NXT tonight, they wouldn't even know that Zaya has anything going on Tuesday nights.
Yeah. Right. All right, so anything else on the main event, or are you guys ready to hop back to the start of the show and just kind of run everything down from the beginning?
I am the Heritage Cup match. I'm really looking excited to talking about.
Yeah. So so the show opened up. Not a lot of fanfare, no entrances. Everybody in the ring. Yeah, cold open, just right into the match. I was actually a little jarred by that. Kind of looked up, heard a bell, and everything was ready to roll. But Chad Gable and Noam Dar for the Heritage Cup this evening. Who would like to start? Anything pop out immediately for you guys?
You know what, man? Look, I'm a Gable mark. All right, I'm a Gable mark. I love Chad Gable. I love that he could take like whatever he was given, Shorty G or whatever he was working with, and now he's one of the most over people on the roster, not only on NXT but on Raw. And a lot of people forget, the American males. Lord have mercy, the Alpha, the American males. Nah, the Alpha Academy,
American Alpha
on NXT. Yeah, American Alpha. There you go. My
Alpha
bad.
Academy, yeah.
It's been that long since So he's homegrown NXT talent, kind of Chad Gable, and to see him come out and perform for this Heritage Cup, which is another cool secondary kind of, I guess you could say, goal for the mid card to lower card. I think that's pretty cool. They're trying to do a real sports feel element, and it really did feel kind of, if you want to suspend your disbelief, it does kind of feel like a real sports feel. And I think that was cool with the round option, the round format of it. I think that was pretty dope. Booker T's cracking me up on commentary. He's great. Color commentary on this. Rooting for the heel, which is Noam Dar, who's doing pretty good. Last time I really cared about Noam Dar was when he was doing the Alicia Fox gimmick. That was kind of cringe back then. But now he's coming into his own with the, what do they call the metaphor?
Yeah, metaphor.
He has like a little squad, so I'm gonna keep my eye on them. But I thought it was a great match. Like Chad Gable showing his legit shoot mat wrestling skills from the first couple rounds. I thought that was sweet. Noam Dar also giving him a competitive match, but it would have been cool to see Chad Gable win, just to see something exciting, kind of like like a change happen. But I guess they're gonna run with Noam for right now, and why not? Chad's busy. Hopefully, in the future with Gunther, of course, trying to get that IC title away from him. But I thought it was a great match.
It was
absolutely
fantastic, just bell to bell. I love the format of the Heritage Cup. Like you were saying, it's got such a real fight feel to it. The round system adds just a little bit of extra drama as the clock is ticking down there. It's a fantastic showing for both of them.
The one thing that I felt like it was unnecessary, Dar's sneak attack after the fifth round, heading into the sixth round. Like it makes sense for his character, and it makes sense for Metaphor to get involved to help him keep the title, because that's exactly what they've been doing. But at the same time, like when the first round ended and Gable is on his feet and like Menza has to drag Dar back to his corner at the end of every round, that in itself I got a kick out of. I thought that was really funny. But he was holding his own throughout the match against Chad Gable. The fact that Gable wasn't able to get a point until the fifth round really solidifies Dar as someone that can hold his own if he needs to. So the sneak attack felt like it was unnecessary.
Yeah, a little shoehorned in there, just heel tactics, just for the sake of getting some heel tactics into the match.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, both guys look strong. I agree that I would have liked to see Gable win the match, but like you said, with them still teasing Gunther Gable 3,
Right.
that I'm more looking forward to see than Chad Gable hoisting the Heritage Cup over his head.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And Darren, you had mentioned a moment ago about the commentary on that. One of my favorite lines tonight, Book was claiming that he's like, oh, he's dazed and confused. And Vic Joseph's response was, he ain't Matthew McConaughey. And
There you go.
as a fan of the film Dazed and Confused, I popped for that myself.
Oh yeah, for sure. Man, Vic and Booker, like if we're going off, so Vic and Booker, like underrated commentary team, bro. Like Booker T, I'm a huge Booker T fan. He's in my top five, man. He's in my top five. So you know what I'm saying?
Top
Just hearing
five,
him on
top
commentary,
five.
top five. Yeah. Oh man, I dig me some Booker T. So I'm glad he's adding, and he's kind of playing like the heel color too. So I like that. I like that.
I'm fine with Booker playing the heel, but it feels like, well, and Vic kind of alluded to it earlier when he made something about, put the marker on your bingo card because Booker said something. And that's the one thing that irks me about Booker T is it's like you could turn him down and turn him back on 5 minutes later, and he's effectively saying the same things over and over. That one thing that I don't like about the commentary.
He's big, man. He's big.
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
he's big. Yeah. Shucky ducky. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's a trip. He's a trip, man. But he's entertaining though. And that's why we love him. Yeah.
I think one of my, just kind of as an aside, one of my favorite things Booker T ever said, this was years ago, was in reference to Kofi Kingston. It says, oh man, Kofi, he's got legs, dog. It's like, yeah, Book, they all have legs, man.
He got legs, man. Yeah.
That's how they get to and from the ring. Like, of course they
my favorite Booker T quote, real quick, is when Michael Cole was a heel, and he was like, Michael Cole, you get under my skin. Michael, I had a dream you died. What the fuck? Where'd that come from? But he's a trip.
Book can go hard when Book has to go hard.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Booker T, man.
But back to the match, though. I mean, they went to basically the Heritage Cup equivalent of a time limit draw, going to Broadway tonight. So, no one looks the worser, and both guys looked really strong, I think, in that match.
Good opening match to start the show.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I think they went about 20 minutes total
from the opening show.
Yeah. Out there, yeah. Well, I mean, 3 rounds or 3-minute rounds, 6 rounds, yeah.
Yeah. And I think they said it was the first time that something had gone to 6 rounds on U.S. soil.
Yeah,
that's one of the cats. Just let her go on.
I was gonna say, nice cat cameo there.
Yeah, with the run in right there.
Yeah, there 3 dogs and 4 cats and a gecko in this house. So it's
wow,
nice, man. Yeah, you got the whole museum, you got the whole zoo. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So anything else on the opening match?
I thought it was great, man. It's cool to see Gable in NXT. It'd be cool to see kind of like people that don't get a huge amount of time on Raw or SmackDown come back to NXT. Like jumping a little bit ahead, of course. Johnny Gargano coming back. Gonna be trying to fight for the North American title. That's pretty dope. I know he's gonna get some love in NXT. And then you got Big Bronson Reed coming in too, stepping in. So it's cool to see people on the main roster. Cameron Grimes, there you go. And who needs more love on the main roster, of course. You know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. But it's good to see them.
None of the NXT call-ups from the most recent draft have really gotten any love at all. I mean, like they're there for a couple weeks, they fade into obscurity. Like the team of, and I'm blanking on their names, former women's tag champs.
Katana Jane.
No, Fire and
what happened? Yeah, what happened with that? Yeah, they had like a whole backstage. No, they had like a vignette and everything.
Yeah,
talking about the women's tag titles being cursed, and now they're setting up a women's tag team title contendership match on Raw last night, and they're nowhere to be
seen. Yeah.
Well, didn't they did merge the belts with Ronda and Shayna, and everybody knows that worked out perfectly fine.
No problems there whatsoever.
No problem. Yeah, man. Greatest run of the titles for sure. Oh yeah.
All right. So after that match concluded, they had a segment with JBL this week, introducing or selecting the competitors for the Iron Survivor qualifying matches. I had a little video package with JBL talking about being a wrestling god, and I believe he compared Briggs to Kane and Undertaker,
and Stan Hansen and Vader.
No, he didn't
And
compare Briggs to Undertaker and Kane. He compared Briggs to Dr. Isaac Yankem and the Texas, the red,
Me,
whatever
Mark
the fuck.
Calloway.
Me, Mark Calloway. That's what he compared him to. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I mean, I'm kind of a little behind on Josh Briggs. I know he was in the tag team and everything like that. And they had kind of like a love story thing going on during COVID, like times. So I mean, if you want to flex that Josh Briggs is a big man, it's show some more stuff for him in the ring. The only kind of memory I have from Josh Briggs is that kind of weird storyline they had that's kind of looked like a teen drama. Shout out to One Tree Hill, you know what I mean? So
maybe a little Degrassi, for our
little Degrassi
Canadian
action, you know what I mean? Yeah,
but it
there you
did,
go.
like when JBL was talking about Briggs, he definitely had, it seemed like they were kind of pushing Briggs towards, is he going to branch out as a singles competitor? I personally don't think that they need to break up Briggs and Jensen. I think they really work together well as a team. Same as the Creeds, I'm super excited for what they're going to be able to do on Raw. I'm excited for Briggs and Jensen the same way when they get called up.
Absolutely. And that's something on tag teams in general. I hope that with, Triple H's direction, they start having teams just be teams for the entirety or the bulk of their career.
For sure.
You don't run into that too often anymore. It's almost like the goal is to try to make a single star out of any tag team.
Yeah.
Well, and even like what they're doing with the Usos right now, it's like Jay is obviously doing well as a singles competitor, and Jimmy kind of taking a step backwards there. But I'll probably be talking about that more this Friday on the SmackDown Dirt Sheet Radio.
A little bit of foreshadowing.
But I mean, it's like you said, they don't build tag teams to last anymore, and I think that really harms the legitimacy and the prestige of the tag team titles. They need to split them. They need to have one show have its own tag team titles, and they need to keep teams together. It's basically the Usos and the New Day for the longest time, and now it's basically just the New Day.
Yeah.
Well, and the splitting of those belts came up last night on our Raw post show because we were talking about DIY and how it'd be nice to see them go for the tag titles, but that's not going to happen unless they split those guys back apart.
Exactly.
But I digress. But JBL, like you said, he picked Carmelo Hayes and Briggs for the men's and Davenport and Hale for the women's. Good little video package, probably about 3 minutes or so. You don't see JBL on TV too often anymore. It looked like he was filming from his, but where's he live? Somewhere offshore, right? Does he live in Bermuda or?
Well, if it's not
Bahamas or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he's on a distinct island in Cuba. I don't know where he's broadcasting from. He seems to be doing pretty good. I remember he had an on-screen role a couple years ago, but I think he's chilling now, man. I don't know what he's up to. It'd be nice if he had a podcast. I would be interested to peek into JBL's kind of like, backstage stories and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's probably got some interesting ones to tell. Yeah. I wonder if he would tell the story about the time that I must say Joey Ryan
punched him out.
The Blue Meanie punched him out too. I was talking about
Joey Styles.
Joey Styles.
No, I was thinking the
Joey Styles knocked him out apparently.
Joey Styles knocked out JBL, Bradshaw.
Yeah. Oh
yeah. They were on tour in Europe. I guess he'd been he was picking on Styles and prodding him. He had enough and just reared back and knocked his ass out.
Whoa, I'm about to look that up, bro. Hey, why is JBL always getting in the backstage fight? That's the whole reason for the Brawl for All, man. You're one of the reasons for the worst ideas ever, bro. Just calm down, dog, bro. What's wrong with him, bro? Tough guy dude. It's a tough guy dude. That's what he is.
Yes, he is. He's old school in that way. But after the announcement for the competitors in those matches, we had the behind attack of Xia Li taking out Lyra, which we had discussed a little bit earlier.
Concussing her. Completely concussing her.
Had the doctors, the trainers run down. He said they treated it super serious. I'm surprised they didn't throw up the old X there.
It was a forearm to the back of the head.
But that was a loaded forearm,
Hey, the loaded forearm, brother.
She's got the old Lex Luger special in
Lex
there.
Luger special. There you go. Yeah, the forearm to the man. What's going on, man? I was like, man, they're treating this like she's like, oh my God, But they had to set up for the main event for the end of the night. So I guess they had to do what they had to do, man.
Yep. So after that, we had Carmelo Hayes and Briggs in the Iron Survivor qualifying match. What did you gents think of that match?
It was
Solid
cool, man.
match.
It was a solid match. Carmelo Hayes puts on bangers. I know
Oh,
y'all
absolutely.
seen the Ilya Dragunov Carmelo Hayes matches. You know what I'm saying? Carmelo Hayes should have been called up 30 years ago. I think Carmelo Hayes is one of the best NXT prospects like ever.
Oh,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? And that's just, he has it all, like as far as the look, theme, the the catchphrases, you know what I mean? Everything, like, charisma and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But I just felt like this match tonight, got through it just to kind of further the Iron Survivor qualifying match. They kind of got through it. So shout out to both guys involved. I thought Josh Briggs looked pretty cool as a singles guy.
Yeah.
I could see him kind of like doing some stuff singles wise, but it was a pretty good match. Nothing crazy.
I like the little interaction backstage before the match between Trick and Carmelo. It's the little things that are furthering their divide, like the Mello still wants to do it on his own. Trick is
Right.
still open to the partnership, and we still don't know who attacked Mello backstage. So I wonder if that's something that they're setting up for Deadline, if they're going to wind up going forward with that, finally revealing who it was. And Lexus King getting involved in the match.
King, yep.
I'm still on the fence about him getting involved with Mello and Trick. Like it feels like it's good enough to stand on its own,
Right.
just those two guys, and have King working on something else. It's great that they have the faith in him to put him with Mello and Trick, but I would have a lot more interest in him if he had a feud of his own.
Right. Yeah, it does. Again, it does feel kind of like they kind of shoehorn him into that story just to give him something to do immediately and something to do that's higher profile, because it is one of their higher profile angles that they've been running. It's been on for a while. I mean, so I agree with you. I'm also on the fence as to why they would have done that. Hell, I'm still on the fence with his name, to be completely honest.
Yeah,
I saw a meme the other day, something like how Lexus King sounds like a car dealership owner's ring nickname, like the Lexus King of Ohio.
Yeah. It's a sentimental name. You know what I mean? I know it has a lot of meaning behind it. You know what I'm saying? But it'd have been cool for him to go as Brian Pillman Jr. I think that would have been fine. But if he wants to go his own path, that's cool.
I worry about him getting like Michael McGillicuddy out of this.
This here's the moment of Lexus King. No.
He should, because he should have been Joe Hennig Jr. from the Rip on that, and they or just Joe Hennig rather not drinking.
I'm fine with Curtis Axel. Like
Yeah.
him changing from Michael McGillicuddy to Curtis Axel and hammering home that yes, he is Mr. Perfect's son. He is his grandfather's grandchild. Like if they would have done something similar with Pillman, and instead of going with this Brian Pillman is dead, long live Lexus King sort of story, which it is still in its infancy. Hopefully we see that grow into something better. But for right now, yeah, it's like you said, just kind of sandwiching him in between Mello and Trick it's not doing it for me.
Yeah, that's fair too. It is early in on it. It's one of the things we should give it, some time to simmer and see where it goes. 35, 40 days from now, we might be on here saying that they had a great idea all along and we should have just trusted the direction and, trusted in the Heartbreak Kid to book it properly.
Yeah. But I'm very optimistic about Lexus King in NXT. It looks like he has a hot start, so we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean he's got a lot of raw in-ring talent. He's got some heritage there for him, and I think he's got a bright future in the company.
Yeah, his experience in AEW definitely isn't going to hurt him at all as far as that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so anything else on the Mello Briggs match?
Nah, man, that's pretty much it for me.
Right.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing the Iron Survivor match continue to take shape.
All right, absolutely. All right, so after that, I think we had the Wes Lee in-ring segment. Wes out there cutting a promo, talking about the importance of the title that was lost, talking about how he almost feels responsible for the steamrolling that the Judgment Day has been doing over the last couple of months, and of course interrupted by Dom, because you got to get Dom on there because the people pay or come to the shows in this case to boo Dom.
There you go. And you know what? They didn't have to pipe in nothing this time. You know what I'm saying? I think it's cool. This was a kind of like everybody's been, it's been a big controversy about like the piped in boos and everything like that, which I think adds to the show. Sometimes it gets a little ridiculous. Like, bro, I don't see anybody's mouths moving. You know what I mean? And then they pipe stuff in. But this time, you got a smaller Florida crowd. You got loyal people that come to NXT, like I mentioned before. And, they were giving Dom hell. You know what I mean? So it was a nice natural reaction for Dom. But before I get into that, I would like to say Wesley cuts a very good baby face promo. He's a cool baby face. He looks cool. The kids look up to him. I could tell. You got guys thinking he looks cool. Chicks dig him and stuff like that. And he also has a very exciting move set, stuff like that. And he he's a model baby face, and I think that's pretty cool. Do I think he needs to be in the North American title picture? That'd be cool to hang where he's at right now. But I think this is a good feud for him, because Dom is so hated that when Wesley actually does beat him, it's going to be so fulfilling, because like people hate Dominic right now or annoyed by him. I love Dominic. I'm so proud of him. He had the deck stacked against him. Dom had the deck stacked against him. He come in as his dad's son. Like, that's honestly, can we take a second and just say that is so lame, bro? That Mary Mysterio's my dad. Oh my god, you got your dad on your shoulder. That's like, at the end of the day, I think that's kind of lame. So the fact that he broke up with his dad and betrayed him and stuff like that, the whole Dominic Mysterio like saga has been great. I think this is one of the best kind of like new guy turned into he's main eventing every show. There was a point where he was main eventing Raw, NXT, and SmackDown.
There was that one.
In the same week.
He's had one of the best and quickest growths of any young talent I've seen. If you had told me when he first came in with Ray, a year and a half ago, that he would, I think it's safe to say that he would be the number one heel in the company, possibly in professional wrestling in general.
Oh yeah.
I'd say you're crazy, but my God, the kid pulls it off.
Yeah.
Well, and his work on the mic has always been his one area, I think, where he needs to really improve on. His in-ring work has always been fantastic. Like, his debut match with Seth Rollins was like, it was good. It's definitely showcasing that he's got skill. But this whole time I've been like, he needs to work on his mic skills. Tonight's promo was definitely the best that he's cut in a while, for sure. But I want to kind of take a step back here too, because Darian, you were talking about how it's crazy Mello hasn't been called up yet. I was going to say the same thing about Wes Lee. Like, he's got phenomenal in-ring ability. He's got talent on the mic. He could easily thrive on Raw or SmackDown if they give him the chance. He is languishing in NXT right now.
Yeah, it does seem kind of like he's, short of attempting to win the North American title back, it doesn't seem like he's got a lot left to do down there.
Yeah, and it's probably time for him to call up. But then again, that's the thing we've been talking about. Like, even, you take somebody like the Creed brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're called up. What do they do now? Do they have any plan for him? You know what I mean? Like, what are they gonna actually do when they call Wesley up? Are they gonna continue on this? Because he's not gonna be in any kind of intercontinental title picture.
Yeah, they're not gonna have him beat Gunther. Although I wouldn't mind. Although I'd love to see him work with Gunther.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a fantastic match for sure.
Yeah, and Gunther knows how to work those big guy, little guy matches for sure. Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's the future for Wesley, man. I mean, what do you guys think about the Fatal 4-Way match that actually they're presenting like next week? Do you think Wesley's going to actually win that and go on to Deadline? That's a little predictable, but that should be a banger match, though. I mean, the in-ring work is going to be great.
Oh yeah, it's
Well,
gonna
and
be
the way they presented the Fatal 4-Way too, like they only included on the graphic that if Wesley wins, he moves on to Deadline. They don't specify that it's a Fatal 4-Way #1 contendership, like whoever wins goes on to Deadline.
Oh wow.
It's
Right.
just stakes for Wesley. Plus,
Oh,
they
yeah.
announced it during the show, but they didn't include it in the graphic. If Wesley loses this Fatal 4-Way match, he never gets another North American title shot again.
Very
So
important detail.
massive stakes. But
Yeah.
again, like you said, it's I'm trying to think of the word. It's easy to see that Wesley is going to face Dominic Mysterio at Deadline for the title. I don't know if he's going to win, but I certainly have my fingers crossed. But it's one of those things that it's a great match. It's going to be like the Fatal 4-Way is going to be enough reason for people to tune in, even though you know exactly how it's going to end up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes being predictable is okay. I feel like, sometimes, WWE feels like they have to swerve everybody every match. Sometimes predictability is cool. Just give the fans an entertaining show. And I feel like we'll like it because everybody right now is behind Wes Lee. I mean, you heard the crowd, you know what I mean? So,
Oh yeah.
shout out to Wes Lee for being, like I said, another great baby face. I think the Dom and Wes Lee saga, because it kind of is like a little mini feud right here going on NXT. And I'm glad it gives Dom something to do because when Dom is on Raw and he's on SmackDown or whatever with the Judgment Day, he gets the mic and he gets booed, but he'll slide in and oh my God, he stopped, Cody Rhodes from winning. Now he's able to actually be a champion, a heel champion, and you actually have people focused on Dom, which I think we need more of. I can't wait to see what Dom does in the next 5 years. Who knows what'll happen?
Oh yeah. He's got just, I think, nothing but upward momentum at this point.
For sure.
And as a little aside, on Raw last night in the Judgment Day's locker room, Dom had a little figure of his father holding a little sign that said, "I'm a deadbeat dad."
Perfect.
Yeah,
There you go.
Love it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
It's those
All
little
right.
character moments.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's just a little bit blink and you miss it kind of stuff. And I really do genuinely hope that a lot of that is Dom's input, because if that's the case, then he's got a really good mind for character development too. I mean, he's on fire.
He's great, man.
Well, Judgment Day as a whole, like strap a rocket to all their backs. They're just shooting right for the top. Even if they decide that Damian Priest is going to cash in Money in the Bank and that's going to lead to him splitting off from the rest of the group, I think he's going to set himself up in a position where he's just going to keep, to the moon,
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So the next segment they had going on was the update on the Chase U scandal.
Okay, yeah. What is this? What is this about, bro? What is this about?
How does
Okay,
everybody but the public seem to know what's going on?
yeah, man. Okay, so
That-
look, check this out. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, Tyler.
Well, it was the most like ID channel Dateline special feeling promo I've ever seen.
It's
Like,
pretty
I don't know
funny.
if they got the same narrator, but it really reminded me of a true crime doc. It was taken so seriously, which made me laugh so much harder because it just how serious they made it sound just added to the just ridiculousness of the entire angle.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what? And I'm gonna say this too. And I don't know if I'll go ahead and because I wrote it down earlier. Is that I forgot Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks actually had a segment before this a couple segments back about like they had like a dinner or something like that. Going into the Chase U stuff, what NXT does, they don't have backstage. They do have backstage segments, but they have skits and they have like little mini movies.
Yeah,
Now,
vignettes type of stuff.
They have vignettes. The one thing, it's fine to have vignettes. Everybody loves a good vignette, like the grocery store brawl with Booker T and Stone Cold. Everybody everybody likes vignettes. Booker T at the bingo hall, stuff like that. But I feel like NXT kind of overdoes it with these kind of like vignettes, backstage little cut scenes, if you want to call them. It's a lot of camera angles. It's a lot of camera shots. It gets a little hokey. A little bit, like delivering the envelope. What's this? And it's like, I don't know. It's just, it's kind of corny, but it's, we're watching professional wrestling. You know what I'm saying? We love the sport, but it's a little corny. And Chase U for a while has been doing this for a minute, like the little backstage thing where Andre Chase is on the podium and stuff like that. It could work to their advantage, but I don't know. It's just kind of weird for me to kind of get into. But they're trying, trying and. I don't know. What y'all think?
With you bring up the corniness of it. I will say that a lot of the vignettes on NXT are reminiscent of the vignettes that Triple H and Shawn did during that last DX run.
Oh man. Oh,
Like
that's when I first started
you
watching
know,
wrestling. That's
like
when I
Little
first started
People's
watching too.
Court, like
Yeah.
stuff
Oh
like
my
that, like
God. Yeah.
all the Hornswoggle stuff, where it was like it was really tongue in cheek and just really kind of corny, but it worked. Like you said, it's professional wrestling and it worked. But a lot of
Yeah.
the vignettes on NXT kind of feel like that, which would make sense as Sean's hands are all over this product.
That's a good point too. Yeah, the campiness of it is it's a little much for me. You know what I mean? But if it gets them over, and you know what I'm saying, and it works to their benefit, the whole chase you kind of faction. You know what I'm saying? If it works, it works. But
Right.
a little campy for me. But I guess we'll see what happens next week, because apparently he made a little deal with the Italian dudes, Tony D'Angelo and Shannon Stacks or something like that. So it's like a controversy. I thought it was funny. Don't get me wrong, but it's just it's funny how far they'll take it for a comedic kind of aspect of it. But
Right.
they're doing their thing. It's Shawn Michaels NXT.
But speaking of corny segments, like we kind of skipped over Robert Stone, Von Wagner.
What was
the dinner
that?
at
Oh my
Robert
God!
Stone's
Yes,
house.
yeah. Sorry.
Why do Stone's kids look more like Wagner?
Yeah. Oh no, it was no, but I love what they're doing with Wagner though. I like Wagner being the weird grown guy. What is his gimmick now? What is Von Wagner's gimmick now?
It's basically
I think it's
like
that he's threatening to fight children for
surgeries as a
children.
kid.
That's
And then, oh no, y'all skipped the best part. It was like a Thanksgiving kind of thing, and Von Wagner comes to Mr. Stone's door, and he was like, "Hey
Half
guys, I
the
brought."
desserts eaten.
He said, "I brought brownies," and it's the store bought snack cakes.
Those are like the cosmic brownies Little Debbie makes. Just
And he's like, I ate some on the way here, my bad. And they're like half eaten. I'm like, oh yeah, that's funny.
Still
Okay,
got like chunks in the bottom of the tin.
Oh yeah, that's some good stuff, bro. Like so I like Von Wagner. When he first came on, I think they were trying to make him like an imposing monster. Nah. Just do this. Keep doing this. This. Von Wagner is hilarious.
He is very entertaining in this role.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I like the character. The segment was just like I have in my notes here. All I had written down for this was just that like sort of like slant mouth emoji where it's just like. That's all I could say about it. Like, get people that can act if you're going to do a pre-recorded segment. Like,
well, and
I
it's a
hope
pre-recorded segment. It's like they have a pretty unlimited number of takes that they could do.
It still feels like they did it in one. Like they're just like, it's not going to get any better than this. Let's just wrap and move on.
That's crazy. Yeah, they did the best they could with that, man. But it was very goofy. But
but
it was
entertaining.
Yeah, it was entertaining. Yeah, we'll see how far they go. Are they doing like a tag team thing? Is he managing Von Wagner? I think Von Wagner would be good as the kind of like the ditzy giant. I think that would be good for that's a good little role for him.
Yeah, like the
Stone's
friendly
match
guy.
against Braun Breaker a few weeks ago, was that his first match in NXT?
Damn, was it?
I think so.
He might have had one like when he was managing Chelsea James back when she was, or Chelsea Green when she was in NXT. But if he did, it's not ringing any bells for me. I wouldn't mind seeing them as a tag team. I enjoyed Robert Stone back when he was in TNA. So I like, we know he can go. He did decently well in his match against Braun Breaker a few weeks ago. So I think he's got potential to be more than just a manager, but I think it depends on how much they want to push Vaughn.
Yeah.
Now here's the real question. Next week, do we get a segment of Vaughn fighting school children?
Oh man, if it's not, man, I'm off the NXT review, bro. Like, I'm off the NXT review, bro. Come on, bro.
The whole company might as well just pack it in. Like, what are they doing if they're not having a grown man fight children?
Hey, bring Triple H back, bro. Bring Triple H back if we don't get the dodge. I want another dodgeball fight scene, bro. Come on now. That's what I tune in for, dog. You know what I mean? Come on now.
But so next week, kind of back onto the Chasey thing. Next week, they're going to have Andre Chase break his silence and I guess reveal what was in the envelope that they only pulled out halfway, but were able to ascertain the entirety of the message.
I'm getting Eric Rowan Spider vibes from this.
Oh,
I'm
that
not
was
like,
bad.
it feels like, well, okay,
Oh, that
just
was
from the sense,
bad.
of like, it feels like they are hyping this up too much for what the reveal is actually going to be. Like,
WWE's great
on
at that.
the
They're great at that. They're great at doing that.
unfortunately, they're great at that. But like, the thing that's popping through my head, like with any other university scandal, is just like, did Andre Chase sleep with a student? Like, are we gonna find out he's been
Yeah,
hooking up
because
with Thea Hale this whole time?
that's pretty much like the basis of school controversy. So it's like, where's the payoff going to be? Like, what did he do that's so bad to warrant paparazzi popping out in
A
the parking
full
lot?
investigation
Right.
that they can't even talk about until Andre has
Until
the
he
chance
breaks
to
his own
address it
silence.
himself.
For
Yeah.
Chase U, yeah. I don't know, man.
So we'll see where they go going for. Maybe it's just sign stealing like Michigan. You know, who knows? It's
Oh, there you go. Hey, you know.
But so moving on to our next match, we had Blair Davenport and Thea Hall in the Iron Survivor qualifying match. Who would like to start the discussion on Davenport and Hale?
I'm gonna keep it kind of short, man. I like the match. It was a good match. I like how Thea Hale kind of got some shine. She kind of ditched her Chase U theme and kind of like came out to like her own kind of thing. So maybe
Yeah,
that's
that was
like,
rad. Like I liked that a lot.
yeah, maybe that's kind of like setting up for something like maybe she's breaking out of Chase U. And if that's the case, then that's cool. It'd be nice to hear a couple more promos from Thea Val. But Blair Davenport has a good presentation. I like that. She has kind of like a dark thing going on. But then again, Laya Valkyrie has a dark thing going on. So, you know what I'm saying? Kind of a little bit of, a little similar gimmicks, but it is what it is. I think a couple more segments, a couple more promos to help them both stand out, you know what I mean, would be good for them. But it was a good match, though. I liked it.
Well, and I mean, they've been teasing Thea Hale drop out from Chase U basically since she started teaming, and her name has slipped my mind completely.
JC
Another
Jane?
girl with JC Jane, another girl with a dark clothing gimmick. But it
Another one.
felt it felt today like they were kind of setting her up to be more closely aligned with Chase U. Like, she's in the know, she's seen what's in the envelope, and she hasn't turned her back on Chase at all. So it'll be interesting to see what Hale and Jane's reactions are going to be to this announcement, as well as the MVP Duke Hudson. Like, if he's still going to be aligned with Chase after this or not.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting, man. I like what Chase U's doing. Maybe Chase U on the main roster. Maybe something with the Alpha Academy. Maybe something with that, like school versus school kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
That would definitely be a fun angle for them to do. But it was a solid match. Sorry, kind of flipping through my notes here.
Yeah,
Blair
not really
Davenport,
much. Not really much to say on that one. Like, it was a clear-cut match, lasted one segment, and like, I'm
Davenport went
looking
over.
forward to seeing I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do in the Iron Survivor match too.
And they did kind of have Thea Hale lose by her own distraction. She took too long showboating and shouting at JC Jane in her excitement to do her next move that, Davenport got the knees up, and that was kind of the end for Hale in that match.
Yeah. But one thing I will praise NXT for too is that their women's roster, not necessarily stacked, but very good in ring. I will say that, very good in ring. You don't get a lot of hair pull, slam to the mat kind of thing that we see a lot in past WWE kind of like women's matches back in the day. You get a lot of more intricate moves and stuff like that, a lot of more character work other than just being the pretty girl, you're not my friend, stuff like that. It's a lot more, character driven, which is pretty cool. They're giving them more dimensions and stuff like that. So I got to praise the NXT women's division. I do like that. I do think NXT maybe has the strongest women division probably out of all the shows right now airing. That might be a hot take. I don't know. But I think they have a lot of potential in the NXT as far as the women. They're giving them a lot to do.
They absolutely do. And I mean, if you look at the talent that has been produced by NXT over the last, 5 almost going on 10 years, the women that they have produced out of NXT are just, I think leaps and bounds above most of the men that they've produced through NXT.
Hell
They got
yeah.
the 4 horsewomen up on the main roster. This current crop of, women talent coming through NXT. It's going to be another great generation of wrestlers going up to the main roster.
Oh, definitely.
I never knew that, Shawn Michaels had such a mind for booking women's wrestling, but here we are, 2023, and we've got another amazing generation of female talent that's, going to be leading the way for the next 10, 15 years.
The man behind Sunny Days is the pioneer of women's wrestling, dog, for real.
Who would have thought it?
Who would have thought,
and
man?
That's not even, like, we still don't even know where Jade Cargill lands in all this.
No, we don't, and we discussed this a little bit last night on the Raw show as well. She's just been suspiciously absent from everything.
Yeah, on the Grand Tour, all 3 shows, premium live events, and now we haven't seen her in the last couple weeks. I think she's going to land in NXT simply because of her inexperience, but could prove me wrong, could surprise me, but I think that is ultimately where she's going to end up. Maybe after Deadline or at Deadline, we could see, the seeds of her first big feud starting to show.
You know what, Cody? Go ahead, bro. Go ahead,
man. You're good.
You know what, Cody? I hear you, bro. I hear you, bro. But I don't know if they're gonna do all of that for Jade just for her to land on NXT. Now, look. Putting Jade on NXT would bring eyes to the product for sure. Mm-hmm. If they really are concerned about NXT with as far as ratings, they're putting Jade on the show. But bro, there's so much stock and money in Jade being a main event star. Like, oh yeah, push her to the main roster. There was a rumor now that I heard, I don't know, the ramblings on Twitter and stuff like that she did go to the Performance Center. They saw what she can do and thinks that she needs a little more in-ring work. And I know that's one of the main criticisms for Jade. Mm-hmm. She looks like a superhero. I feel like if she had some mic time, she could talk. But it's just the in-ring thing that a lot of people are kind of iffy about, which is understandable. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And this is her first time kind of in the wrestling business as well. But she's very athletic. But I think the main thing people are pushing away from right now is kind of like her in-ring ability, you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm a mark. I can never do the things these guys can do in the ring. So I'm never gonna judge anybody like in ring wise. But if that's the reason, then that's the reason. I think that might be the thing. But I don't think she's gonna land in NXT, bro. I'll be honest with you.
You're talking about her. Yeah, like you're talking about her star power and what she brings to the table. Yes, they hyped her up tremendously to the point that going to the main roster right away wouldn't be that big of a surprise. But on the other hand, they're bringing in stars like Chad Gable and Becky Lynch and Dominic Mysterio to these NXT shows for that ratings bump. They have the chance to take someone that they can truly produce as an NXT talent, someone that is going to bring those ratings in and give them that sort of organic sort of build in NXT. Like, hey, this is the only place you're going to get to see her. Whereas all these other stars coming from Raw and SmackDown, you can still tune in on a Monday and Friday to see them. No, Tuesday night is the only place you're going to get to see.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. And I will speak for everybody here. You know what I'm saying? You guys don't have to say any more words. Jade Cargill is fooling. Damn. She's been working. You know what I mean? So we'll see where she lands.
And they've left, they have a lot of open threads that they could follow with her for first opponents or first angles. I mean, they've kind of brought her into, the view of a lot of the prominent women talent in the company.
There you go. Yeah.
They've had her, walk in front of Charlotte. They've had her walk in front of Becky. Like it's hard to say what they're going to do with her, but like you're saying, from what I've heard, she is, training at the Performance Center, and they're saying that, she's teachable. She, absorbs knowledge well. So I think there's, again, a lot of upside for her. Just, we'll see what the future holds for Jade.
Can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, moving on to, as CJ said earlier, the match that would have been the main event had Xia Li not jumped Lyra.
sorry, before that, they did have that segment, another pre-recorded segment, Baron Corbin, Ilya Dragunov hyping their match, which honestly did nothing for me to hype me for this match. I am a huge fan of Ilya Dragunov. Like his matches with Walter in NXT UK were fantastic, and his work since he's been in America has been wonderful. Baron Corbin as a competitor does nothing for me. He's one of those guys that really could, like, I love the fact that they had him burning all his past gimmicks behind and saying, this is him, this is the real Baron Corbin. Like, I think those were his words exactly in this pre-recorded promo. But at the same time, he's one of those guys that could really benefit from pulling a Cody Rhodes, pulling a Drew McIntyre, going elsewhere, make that name for yourself, because it's what he's doing right now just isn't working for him. And because it's not working for him, it doesn't translate well for me. I'm sure there's lots of Corbin stands out there that are gonna try and rip me apart on
all
X.
6 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my inbox is going to be not flooded, but like I might have to hike the pants.
There'll be a trickle,
A trickle,
yeah, little bit. Just have to plug the hole, and there you go. But I think he needs to go. I say this in the nicest possible way. He needs to go away for a while. He needs to.
I get it.
Raise his own stock organically and then come back, get this monster push back on the main roster. He's easily a world champion caliber athlete, but his character work just doesn't reflect that. And nothing WWE is doing right now is helping get him to that next level.
Well, and it's like you're saying, sometimes the only thing that can repair what's happened is just distance and time away. I mean, he's had so many different variations of his character in very few years. He's not been on the main roster for an incredibly long time, but he's had probably 5 major changes to his character, and it's hard to bounce back from that because, truthfully, none of those characters really got a big foothold. I think his most successful run was when he was incredibly depressed.
That was his best work. And it's funny because it's a great character work. You know what? I'm a piggyback off what both y'all saying. Tyler, first of all, bro, you right. If you have like 5 different gimmick changes, bro, and nothing's sticking, what else can we do for you? And Baron Corbin is just one of those dudes he's just so unfortunate that it's just like, I'm sure he's a great guy. He can work. I love the deep 6. But like, bro, like nothing's working, nothing's sticking. It's not even that crowds are booing him like Dominic. Nobody's ironically cheering for him, like, kind of like a heel that you like to hate. He's just kind of there. You know what I mean? And like,
he doesn't get a big reaction.
He doesn't get a big reaction either. And you see the fact that he went from NXT to Raw, then he went to SmackDown, tried this gimmick, then he tried this. Now he's back to NXT, and people still kind of like, I mean, the story here going in, and story kind of makes a feud, kind of makes it, the story here is that, Ilya, I know you're lonely in America. I have a lot of money. That's why I should be champion. It's like, what else we gonna do? What else can we do for Baron? You know what I mean? Like, he needs to get McIntyre. He needs to go to NWA, go to AEW, if willing. I'm just booking out the top of my head right now, but like, go somewhere where you can recreate yourself, maybe form a faction. I don't know, but like, something has to work or change to where people actually start. When Baron Corbin pops on your screen, you're like, okay, let me see what he's about to do. It's just Baron Corbin. You know what I'm saying? It's just like he keeps trying and keeps trying. And he seems like a good guy behind the scenes too, but it's just nothing sticking right now. We'll see what this little Ilya. I mean, Ilya's probably going to get like a nice little 4-star match out of this with the Baron Corbin thing. I think he could push Baron Corbin to a great match. But peak Baron Corbin was when he was in NXT, man, and he had the countdown gimmick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. His matches would go 10 seconds, and the crowd would count along, and then the match would be over. That's one of the best gimmicks. Like, that was one of the most underrated kind of things a wrestler has ever had, and the crowd was invested. Bring that back. He needs something to get some kind of crowd involvement so that people are invested in Baron, because it's like, I don't know, nothing's sticking right now, dog.
Well, and even his main roster debut, like winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal in your first main roster match, you'd think that would set him up for bigger success than it did. Like the
Right.
fact that he only got to hold the Universal title when he was Constable Corbin after, I think it was after Roman vacated
Those were dark
for
days.
cancer treatment. Yeah,
Those
like
were dark days.
I really want to see him do well. I do.
I do too,
But
man. Yeah, I do
it's
too.
not going to happen where he's at right now.
It's not, man. Yeah, you talk about, man, Constable Corbin. Those are bad days. Hey, it was all Corbin's fault. We're listening to you, the people. It's not us. It was Corbin.
That's
We're listening to
true,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, man, we'll see what happened with Baron, man. But his broke gimmick was the best gimmick he had, bro. The broke gimmick and the countdown gimmick. I like them. The lone wolf, you know what I mean? But we'll see what happens, man.
And so again, it's just, I actually almost completely forgotten about Constable Corbin. I mean, like I said, it's just King Corbin, Constable Corbin, depressed Corbin.
I'm sorry to have to remind you.
It's one of those things you suppress. I suppressed that. You brought it up. That's okay, man. We're going to try to keep the show going. You know what I mean? But I had to suppress it. Now you brought it back, but that's okay. We're going to keep on going, man. You know what I mean?
The first and last time you'll hear me talking about Constable Corbin, I will make sure of that.
Yeah.
No. Now I'm going to try to work it into conversation every week. We'll see how.
Oh man.
Let's just make the whole Rewind show the Constable Corbin Hour and
the Constable Corbin Hour. Yeah, that's our first segment. You think about ideas for segments. The Constable Corbin segment, yeah. The Constable Corbin best moments. Yeah, you know what I mean? But
we're talking about Jobber of the Night, just Constable Corbin of the Night.
Yeah, exactly. The Constable Corbin of the Night, for sure, bro. Yeah.
But before we do get into again what would have been the original main event without the attack, there was another of the dinner segments.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With Carrillo and Garza attacking D'Angelo and Stax and getting their match. Similar to what I said about Lyra's entrance during the main event, I love seeing the intensity that that went down in this attack. I think it was definitely lacking in their entire run as Los Lotharios. And I'm really happy to see, even if it is just like an American Wolves rip off with the tattoo, like I'm happy to see them doing something that I think is really going to get them some success in NXT. Hopefully it translates well when they inevitably head back to the main roster. But I think for right now, what they're doing is working.
Two things about Angel and Humberto. First of all, are those tattoos real?
As far as I know.
That's pretty sick.
I was wondering that too, because the collar on those is bright and vibrant. And I was wondering if that was a makeup job or if those were legitimate tattoos.
If those are tats, that's pretty dope, but that's pretty cool commitment. So, hey, Sean, look,
dedication
hey, man,
to the gimmick.
You see people doing tattoos on their bodies. Oh yeah, bro, push them because that means they're serious about their characters. And I think they're good for like a kind of like a remodeling of their kind of characters. You know what a lot of people are thinking and speculating? LWO. The new LWO with Santos Escobar. Call him up. Santos Escobar with the LWO. Come on now. Angel Garza's dad was originally in the original LWO and WCW, I think.
Interesting. Did not know that.
So that'd be kind of, I don't know, man. That'd be kind of a cool little look at the for maybe like a Santos Escobar stable, but it's kind of cool. They have like an aggressive side to them. Yeah. Let's see where they go with that, man.
My only critique.
Sorry, go ahead, Tyler.
My only critique of that angle is them, they get jumped at the restaurant. They jump at the restaurant. If I'm going to jump somebody in a public place, I'm certainly going to wear my wrestling gear to do it.
They had their tights on, bro.
I'm like, he's in his
trunks.
To
be fair, though, like if they were, I think what they were trying to set up was they had the match and then they just went right to where D'Angelo and Stax were. So it does kind of fit a little bit that they're, they had their match, they jump in the car and then they go attack the champs.
Boom. Okay. Well, you said they're at what? Okay. Boom. GPS. You got your GPS? Okay, let's go. Boom. And they drove off immediately after.
NXT wasn't live this week, was it?
That's right. I saw something in the group chat. It said it was taped. So that's cool. Yeah. But I like the character they're going for with Humberto and Angel. Let's see if they make something out of that.
All right. So for the last match on the discussion docket this evening, we had Eddie Thorpe and Charlie Dempsey.
I
We
like
sure
Eddie
did.
Thorpe. He's
I like
got
it.
he's got a hell of a character. He's got lots of personality. And I really hope they do something with him. I like the stable that Dempsey and crew have put together. Even just the reminder from Vic on commentary that they do have a fourth member that just wasn't there tonight. I don't know where he was, but
Okay.
I think the match itself was great. Charlie Dempsey has, obviously William Regal's blood running through his veins, and it shows. He's a fantastic technical wrestler, and I think what they're doing with those four guys is very much in its infancy. But if they keep on the track that they're going, I think they're going to be big.
Let me. I was gonna say, man, let me piggyback off that, CJ. Man, you know what? I'm gonna kind of dial back on that because look, man, I'm gonna tell you like this: Charlie Dempsey, give him like some kind of Lexus King treatment. That's William Regal's son, and he has a look. Make him his own guy, And if he isn't a stable with Drew Gulak and the other guy, I'm so sorry. I just names are slipping me right now. But if you're in a stable, name it. Can you please name it so it's not just a group of guys? Name the stable, come up with something, have some interest music or like some shirts. It's just some guys, man. Like, Charlie Dempsey, I feel like has a lot of promise. He has great in-ring work. His dad is real Regal, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So, and there's no mention of that yet, I don't think. They're kind of giving like the Ava treatment too, like with The Rock and everything. Like, let's not say like their parents have wrestled before, even though they're legendary, but
right.
Yeah. And I mean, to their credit with Dempsey, the fact that they haven't talked about William Regal being his dad, I don't know if that's still because he's in a non-compete from his AEW contract
and
can't actually go on TV yet.
That's a hell of a contract. Damn.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, at the same time, I think it was because they let him go from it early.
A lot earlier.
To go back to WWE. Right. And like I love seeing him standing on his own without any sort of mention that he's William Regal's son, whereas they have done that with Lexus King and Brian Pillman Sr. They touch on it, they don't really focus on it, but I love that Charlie really gets to stand on his own without any sort of acknowledgement of his lineage. I think that's going to do him well going forward. But if they ever do decide to have William Regal on TV with him in his corner, that it's only going to push him even further.
Yeah, and you don't want to David Flair Charlie Dempsey. You don't want to. You don't want to David. You don't want to David Flair him. You know what I mean?
You don't want to David Flair anybody, but I mean, that's like comparing a really talented wrestler and an orange.
Yeah,
because David Flair did. I was going to say apples to oranges, but that's not even fair.
Oh
David Flair. Yeah, they really tried to push him so hard, but like he did not have, I think,
the natural ability
of what Ric Flair has.
Bless his heart. Yeah, they tried, man. But
he really tried. He tried that, but that never stuck with him. But I think Charlie Dempsey has just an incredible in-ring acumen for being as young as he is and as early in his career as he is.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
And it was a great match. Had a lot of hard-hitting moments. They put it. It wasn't a super long match. I think they went about like 7 minutes or so. But they told the story that they wanted to tell.
Well, and like I was kind of saying earlier, I really love Eddie Thorpe. Like his NXT Underground match with Damon Kemp. That was the fourth guy that I couldn't remember his name from before.
Oh, okay. From the Diamond Mine.
Yes. And I love seeing Eddie Thorpe. Like his feud with Dijak was great. His feud with Corbin was good. And I think he's one of these guys that is really going to be able to they've got a future main eventer on their hands with Eddie Thorpe, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. As long as no one can convince him to use a phrase like "you just got torpedoed," they'll be good.
Vince isn't booking anymore. I think we're set.
Put it on a shirt, bro. Put it on a shirt. I'll buy it. Come on, man.
Those torpedo shirts will be flying off the shelves.
Oh man, yeah. So watch out, LA Knight. you know.
Or they really lean into the Thor part of Thorpe, and he just starts carrying this giant hammer around with him. And...
No. Drew McIntyre's already got an unnecessary giant sword. We don't need more unusable big weapons.
We don't need any more weapons.
Unusable? How dare you? And the sword is clearly cut ropes before.
You see what happened to them ropes? Okay,
That's true. Okay, you got me there. You got me there.
Yeah.
All right, so that covers the show. I know that John likes us to do the Jobber of the Night or the Constable Corbin of the Night.
Constable Corbin on NXT reviews. There you go.
Yeah. That and the Megastar. So who there's our Gilbert shot. Who do you guys have this evening as the Jobber or Constable Corbin of the night?
I'll let you go, CJ.
And I wanted to clarify first, like, are we constituting a jobber just as someone who lost their match tonight, or someone that's because if we're going with someone who lost, I'm gonna say Carmelo is like lost but still had a good showing. I would say Carmelo is my jobber of the night, just because like the loss wasn't his fault. He had the distraction from Lexis King, and it really plays well into his storyline right now with Trick, because I didn't think to mention it earlier, but even just talking about it now, if Trick had been out there, he could have handled Lexis. Mello could have focused on the match, and I hope that that's something that they focus on next week or at Deadline, whenever they decide to further this feud. So if we're talking about a jobber that looked great, I'm gonna say Mello is my jobber of the night. If we're going with a jobber that just didn't have that same sort of presentation, I'm gonna say Xia Li. She had and that one's not really her fault either. Like, they had the opportunity, they had the potential to set her up with so much better momentum, and they didn't capitalize on it.
See, and I'm with you on that. My pick for the jobber this evening was going to be Xia Li, and it was just because of the way they booked the angle from Raw last night leading into this evening. It just didn't make her look as strong as I think they're trying to make her look.
There you go. Yeah. And if I could give my jobber of the night, or the Constable Corbin of the night, you know what I mean? I'm going to give it a Xia Li too, man. Why not just make her look strong yesterday? Make her look strong yesterday and then come in and take the L, you know what I mean? Because at least, you lost to Liv Valkyrie, you lost the title match, but you beat Becky Lynch. But she didn't even beat Becky Lynch. So she lost twice. And you knocked her out at the beginning of the night, and she still was okay, charged your ass, and won.
Yeah.
So
there's no consolation prize for her in this scenario.
No. No, it's like I said, it didn't really make her look very strong, and Becky wouldn't have been hurt by that loss. Becky,
because she's going to War Games, and she's going to have a great match in War Games. So, like, why not?
I mean, hell, they had the entire Damage Control team come down through the crowd after the match. They could have easily had interference there, cost Becky the match, still give Xia that momentum heading into her title match tonight. Becky wouldn't have looked weak, because like the outside interference would have continued that. Even if she got some sort of momentum against the team heading into Survivor Series, that still would have been better than what actually happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, man, I like the way y'all think. Yeah, y'all, we right on the same page. So sorry, Xia, you get jobber of the night.
All right, and that will bring us to the megastar of this evening,
Von Wagner. We gotta give it to Von Wagner. I'm gonna give it to Von Wagner. I think he's hilarious, bro. Like, he's hilarious. Like, I feel like character work, bro. I like Von Wagner. He's the one that stood out to me out of everything tonight. Of course, there was great in-ring action and stuff like that, but Von, man, like, he kind of took me by surprise. He's an entertaining dude. As far as the back, I know the skit was corny and everything like that, but I mean, that's why we watch wrestling, to get entertained, bro. And Von Wagner entertained me, and that's what I got left with an impression after the night. I was like, after everything that happened, I still thought back to those damn store-bought brownies. That shit was funny as hell. That's funny. So I'm gonna give my megastar to Von Wagner, dog.
My megastar is gonna be Noam Dar. he had a phenomenal match tonight against Chad Gable. Like, I mean, we were all excited to talk about this match earlier on in the show. He is someone that, I still think of the Alicia Fox sort of promos. Yeah, you do that so well. That's fantastic. But I mean, the Heritage Cup has done so much more.
Alicia Fox. Thank you,
Thank
Caesar.
you for spelling that out phonetically too. Like,
that's
just
exactly
really
how you spell it. Yeah,
enunciating properly. But he has done so much good with the Heritage Cup since bringing it to the States. And I would have liked to see Nathan Fraser have a little bit longer run with the Cup before dropping it back to Noam Dar. But what he's doing and what Metaphor is doing, it works. And if they keep going like they are, they're going to be another stable that just prints money.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I was actually, again, so where CJ, you and I are on one brain wavelength this evening, because I was also going to say Noam Dar, because I got a lot more out of him than I was expecting. Like, getting separation between the whole, the more goofy angles that he was, vinced into more or less on the main roster.
The boy got Vince.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with Vince. If you show him just a modicum of being funny, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to get is
sorry,
comedy.
R-Truth. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
R-Truth makes it work, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you were going to put anybody in a comedic segment, it's got to be R-Truth.
Yeah.
He's just so multi-talented. But Noam Dar, like you're saying, TJ, he has done so much with that Heritage Cup. And again, it's just a fun, interesting concept and a take for a wrestling match. And he's got a lot of in-ring skill, and I kind of assume here that he will be back on the main roster at some point.
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's I think what's really going to hold him back is the development of the other members of Metaphor. Like, my dad got me into wrestling, and he still watches NXT, and we were talking about Lash Legend, and he's not a big fan of her character. But like, she's talented enough that obviously they have enough faith in her to put her in the Iron Survivor match. And I want to see more out of the rest of Metaphor. Like, it makes sense if they're propping up Noam, but if all he's going to do is hold on to the Heritage Cup with their help, he needs to do more, and they need to let him do more.
Well, and I do wonder if it is a means to an end to re-elevate him and give him more, or if, like you're saying, if this is something that they're going to try to use to kind of raise all the ships in Metaphor.
Would be great to see.
Yeah, I want to see more out of them, because I think they have a lot more to offer.
All right. Well, gents, I think that covers this evening's episode of NXT fairly well. Just kind of on an outro here. Again, I am Tyler. I'm the Pro Wrestling Hipster at PW Hipster over on Twitter. I don't want to call it X. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to adapt
Twitter,
to that.
man. It's Twitter.
It's always going to be Twitter.
I know it's Twitter to me. Literally right in my handle right here, X at CJ Carter 22. But that's just for promo purposes. I still call it Twitter.
Yeah. It's Twitter. You tweet. I mean, it's silly, but my socials at PW Hipster on Twitter and also on Instagram. Gentlemen,
I already had my stuff.
Oh, there you go. And I'm Darian, aka Young Suplex. Y'all can find me on Instagram at Young Suplex, or you can find me on TikTok as well at Digital Suplex Radio, or you can call me Darian Soup, short for Suplex. Soup. Yeah. So thank you guys again.
Where else will we see you guys later this week? I know myself, I'll be on the Survivor Series post show this Saturday night, and of course, I'm here for Raw every Monday and NXT Tuesday with you guys. But CJ, where else can we see you?
NXT recap show here on Dirt Sheet Radio every Tuesday night, Fridays, every Friday night for the SmackDown Rewind. Hoping to make the Survivor Series Rewind show this weekend, but we'll see what everybody else's plan is. If I miss the spot, I miss the spot, but hoping to be there.
It's gonna be a good show though, regardless.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That CM Punk return.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait for Chicago to just be CM Punk and get Randy Orton. What was up? I did. What was up? There goes the. Hey, is that a CM Punk reference? Oh my God, the
Confirmed.
CM Punk confirmed.
Dirt Sheet Radio confirms Punk's return.
Yeah,
they
man,
put out
so-
a Randy Orton shirt hyping his return, and it's literally it's got some text, I can't remember, but the logo is literally just a viper coming out of a lightning bolt. And even that in itself is just like, oh, the lightning bolt. That's Punk's symbol. That's confirmation he's returning. Like,
Yeah.
I am so looking forward to the meltdown that happens when he doesn't show up. Like, I'm not gonna hate seeing if he does return, but come on, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not.
I will be genuinely shocked. Like, I'm not going to say, oh, eat JBL's hat or anything if he comes back. I'm not that confident in it. But I would be genuinely shocked if he comes back.
Hey man,
Oh,
it's
me
confirmed, man. Get your signs ready, guys. Get your signs ready, Chicago. You know what I mean?
I will eat JBL's hat. Like, John Layfield, look at me right in the eyes, because I know you're watching Dirt Sheet Radio every Tuesday and Friday night, man.
Yeah.
I will eat your hat. DM me. I will send you my address.
There you go. Can't wait.
You heard it here first. From his home in the Bahamas, I think. We'll get that hat to you, CJ.
Parts
Wonderful.
unknown.
Parts unknown.
You know what I mean?
All right, y'all, it's been real. I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of the night. Hope everybody out there in the streaming universe has a wonderful rest of the night. And CJ, we'll see you Friday night, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday right here for another NXT Rewind. Have a wonderful night, everybody.